Tourists often say that they feel like they're in a completely different world altogether when they visit India, and that is not very far from the truth, as the way things look, smell, taste, and feel are so different from the rest of the world. But why is India so Indian? What makes the country so unique in so many aspects? Let's dig in. Namaste my dear friends, I'm Dhruv and welcome to the Indoverse, your one-stop resource for everything India. This is the first video in the series I'd like to call Bharat Darshan, where we will look at the cultural and geographical variety of India by focusing on specific topics such as its regions, languages, foods, people, etc. And it is truly a large collection of very particular and different microcosms that come together and end up making a very highly unique country. But why is it exactly so? Well, for a variety of reasons. Historically speaking, it has an extremely long and complex timeline spanning literally thousands of years. It cradled one of the first human civilizations. There were multiple dynasties that ruled over the country, well, part of it, but never the whole. There were many violent invasions by ruthless invaders. The country was mercilessly ruled and plundered by foreign powers for an extended period of time. And in recent times, the political class has shaped the country to what it is. So, there is a lot to explore and discuss here. Religion-wise, it has to be one of the most diverse countries as well, as almost all of the major world religions reside within the confines of this one country in relative peace, albeit many complications in the recent decades, which is in fact another very long topic that will be dealt in many of my future videos. It is the birthplace of Hinduism and Buddhism, two of the most ancient religions of the world that have influenced so many schools of thought and life practices around this world. After Indonesia and Pakistan, it harbors the third largest population of Muslims in the world who follow Islam, the second largest religion in the world. And it still has room for many other religions such as Christianity, Sikhism, Jainism, etc. It is truly a masterpiece of co-living, though this idea is slowly being challenged unfortunately, and something needs to be done about it soon. Economically, it is a paradox. Regarded as an upcoming economic superpower by many, there is actually tons of potential in the country due to our large numbers. But still, 1/3 of Indians live in extreme poverty. It is a true riches to rags story if there was ever one for a country, and the history behind it is long and fascinating, but sad altogether. India has lately made huge strides in science and technology, and economically it has done very well too, but not without suffering from a huge economic gap within its people. Geographically, it has some of the most diverse features that you can find in a country. It is protected in the north and the northeast by one of the most well-known mountain ranges in the world, the Himalayas. It is surrounded by three huge water bodies on all sides except the north, the Bay of Bengal in the east, the Indian Ocean in the south, and the Arabian Sea in the west. It has a vast desert in the west called the Thar Desert. It houses a largely barren but mineral-rich plateau bang in the middle of the country called the Deccan Plateau. It has 5 seasons instead of the usual 4 thanks to a beautiful monsoon. There are multiple major rivers, their subsidiaries, and innumerable smaller rivers that make it one of the most fertile lands in the world. It is truly a geographically blessed nation. Politically, it is a behemoth as well, being the largest democracy in the world. 540 million people voted in the 2014 general elections, and it takes a while to wrap your head around that number. Democracy exists, but it is a very different concept from what the most Western nations are used to. But we have to realize that the concept of India as a country didn't really exist before the British ruled it, as there were many smaller kingdoms and tribes fighting amongst each other, and there was no common national identity. When we got our independence from the British in 1947, a comprehensive constitution was prepared by the founding fathers, but it mostly borrowed from the ideals of democracy from other countries such as Britain, Ireland, US, Canada, Australia, USSR, which is now Russia, and other smaller countries, France, Germany, and Japan. It is the lengthiest constitution in the world, partly because it was borrowed from so many sources, and partly because it had to hold provisions catering to the extreme diversity and the 400 million inhabitants of India at that time. I believe that the Indian people were not really ready for this common identity, and were given kind of the short end of the stick when it comes to this set of rules and laws which was not well implemented and not well communicated. And this has led over the last 70 years or so for politicians to run amok, and it is the common man who is suffering from issues such as overpopulation, lack of education, healthcare, social differences, and evils such as the caste systems, etc. I know that many of these are societal problems and not only political, but all of them are extremely rich topics that will be dealt with in a series dedicated to them in the future. And last but not the least, the people. With our different physical features, our vastly different cultural backgrounds, the immense number of languages and scripts, religions and beliefs, and overall ways of life that coexist relatively peacefully within the country, all of this adds more to the complex equation that is India. This cultural and social variation is due to the immense influx and mixing of a wide number of people over the ages. This has led it to being the most diverse mix of human beings that you can find on a single landmass that is recognized as a country. And by the way, all of this is an upcoming theme in my next video which revolves around Indian history, so stay tuned for it. In a nutshell, the country is as ordered as it is chaotic, as advanced as it is backwards, as good in sports as it is lagging behind in them, as rich as it is poor, as peaceful as it is violent, and as beautiful as it is ugly. And don't worry, I won't leave you hanging there with no information about all that I just mentioned. As I said, there is tons of content waiting to be rolled out, but this is just not the video for it. Till next time, make sure that you show my new channel all your love and support by liking and sharing this video, clicking the subscribe button, and hitting the bell notification icon so that you don't miss any of my content as it rolls out. I thank you for being here and see you all next time. Namaste.